Go ahead, keep that same energy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Campus to Contracts. Hey everybody, welcome to Campus to Contracts. Mason, as always, it's good to have you. Let's talk about coaches upset about players' commitment level.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand.
I'm going to give you an impression. You can tell me who I am. After a bowl game, this is the university I want to end my career with. This is the place I want to be forever. I am so happy to be at this university. A week later, I'm happy to announce I'm transferring over to the University of Notre Dame or LSU or Alabama, wherever. Oh, all that stuff I said, I meant it. This opportunity is a once in a lifetime.
For me and my family.
Because my wife wants to move, and they just backed up a plane full of money, and I'm going to have to take it. So the coaches weren't committing. I mean, they were, but then they were committing to go elsewhere.
And they were making those announcements after they left the school.
Yep. After the plane ride, they didn't go to the players, and everyone was like, what a shame, these poor players. And now all I hear and all I read is these coaches getting upset because now the players are leaving them.
Yeah.
And the players are not committed.
So for the fans and the coaches who are upset about unlimited transfers, coaches have always had unlimited transfers. They've always been able to leave their contracts early, leave the players that they just recruited in the dead of the night. They've been able to do that for years. Now the players are allowed to do it. And the reason I believe the coaches are mad is because they cannot act or treat the players like they used to, because they have to be a little bit more sensitive to how the players want to be treated and the type of experiences those players want. Because if they're not, they'll just leave. They'll just transfer. It's unlimited transfers. It doesn't matter. You can't hold me back. I could transfer to a school within the same conference if I wanted to. I could transfer to the school that you play first game this next season. So now that there's no restrictions on the players, like there has never been restrictions on the coaches, now that it's even, there's a problem. All of a sudden, NIL has ruined college football. All of a sudden, the transfer portal has ruined college football. It hasn't ruined anything. It just made it fair. That's all it did. It just gave the players the same rights as the coaches.
And I also enjoy how they go to find coaches who have been at a university for a very long time. They never go to the coaches that have swapped teams over and over again, or I left here to go there because it's a better opportunity for me and my coaching career and my financial status. They never talk to those people. They only talk to the coaches. I've been at this university for 40 years. I committed. The players should commit like I did. To which I say, that's also a joke. That's not fair, and it's not right what they're saying and what should be expected of an 18-year-old, because I don't know who was in that living room, and I don't know what you promised that kid. I don't know if you said you're going to be a starter forever and you get there and they treat you like garbage. And God knows that has happened time and time and time again, and they abused these players. They couldn't leave. They lost scholarships. They lost their university scholarships to go to college. And they were threatened all the time with that.
You feel really strongly about this, don't you?
Drives me wild to hear people talk about how it's ruining the game.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Look, when you're being recruited, whether it's out of high school, whether it's from another university while you're transferring, they're just like car salesmen. They're going to sell you the car. But there's going to be something in that contract and in that fine print that you are not aware of. And it's your fault that you didn't read it, that you didn't pay attention carefully enough, that you didn't do your due diligence. Think about how hard it is for a kid to make a decision on what type of college program he wants to go into. He doesn't know any of the players that are there, and the only players that he sees and meets are the starters that are having the greatest times, but he doesn't get to see the backups. He doesn't get to see the third strings, the guys that are walk-ons that probably don't have the greatest time at that university, that are really able to tell you how the university is. Because if you find a school, a university at the football program where the backup and the third string guys are having a good time and really believe in that program, and understand that it's fair, that's how you know you find a program. Programs like Boise State, where you hear about guys that are always there having a good time, they're waiting their turn, and then finally when they progress to the level, they're going to be able to, have that chance to start. And if they don't make the cut, they just don't make the cut. But that's not because the program's bad. That's not because the coaching staff and the athletic department doesn't care about the players. They care. They care up there. I know that very well from my brother's time up there and my own experiences there. And it's hard-pressed to find a program and schools and universities that are like that. You'll find coaches here and there on staffs that are nice, that are real, that are what we call player coaches. But, a lot of times it still is a business. And even more so now, where you're paying the college players to play there. This is pay to play. There's no ands or buts about it. You could tie it up however you want, wrap it in a bow, give it out to me on the 25th of December. But it is pay to play. These NIL deals are just ways to also help these companies get marketing out of it. But they're just paying you to play there, and they want you to stay there. That's all it is.
I want to take people back to your reference there when you said you're 17, you're 16, and you're in a living room with a coach who is one of the best salesmen in the world, by the way. They're not selling cars. They are paid multiple millions of dollars to sell you on a university, and they're the best. When they're selling your 16-year-old, your 17-year-old on this experience, they commit to it, and it's not what they thought. And they're having a miserable time, and they're upset. But guess what? They can't leave. Yeah. They don't have the choice to leave. They weren't even given that option or opportunity. So when everyone overreacts and is like, I can't believe it's this crazy, I'm always going back to my memory banks of so many talented players that were on the wrong teams, recruited by the wrong programs, treated so poorly, dropping out of college, getting made or forced to drop out because you weren't elevating your game the way they thought. They abused these young men. And then now the young men have an option. Now they have a say. And now their voices are heard, and everyone's like, how do we live in this world? And I sit back and I say, they're adults, number one. They're over 18. They would fight a war. So they should have a voice, and they should have a voice about their talent, where they play, how much they want to get paid, how they want to be treated, forget about what degree it is. All of that should be paramount, especially with the talented players we're talking about.
Most definitely. It's a great change that happened in college football. There's a lot of kids now in college that are able to kind of express themselves fully and actually go after their path. There's situations where players go to this university and it doesn't pan out athletically. And now they have a chance to transfer to another school. And maybe that's what they needed for their career to get off the ground. That's what they needed to, get better at their craft. So with the whole transfer rules, I'm such a fan. I'm so happy. With paying players, I'm so happy. There's so much money being made, and it hasn't stopped the universities from doing what they're doing. Universities aren't going broke all of a sudden. You don't see universities saying we're out of money because we have to pay our players on the football program. Not one university has ever said that. Matter of fact, universities are making more money now than ever. You have Sacramento State who just funded $35 million in a week in order to go from FCS football, Group of Five, or FCS 1AA, to go to Power 5 football. They're skipping a whole level change here because they were able to fund themselves $35 million in 4 days. They were able to get $35 million in 4 days. And people are talking about, we shouldn't be paying players. There's enough money in this world, clearly. In Sacramento, tax haven,
we're in a new time, and it's great. I'm a big fan of these players getting taken care of. These players just taking some time off. So I'm going to paint a little picture for folks that, again, weren't recruited like myself, never got to talk to a coach, never got sold the vision or the dream. How many kids have gone to a university? Just picture this. You go to a university, you try something out, you're thinking about a degree. You may want to study overseas for 6 months. You may want to take a break from the university for a bit, get a real job, and then maybe go back. These players were not afforded that option at all. if you signed a four-year letter of intent, you were going to that university for the full time. You couldn't go to somewhere else. Where you could, as a student, decide to drop out. You can change your major 5 times. You can say you're trying to find yourself because you're 20 and you're still a kid and you want to know what you want to be. A lot of these people will put on weight, grow, change their personality, change who they want to be, maybe change a position, which is very, very natural in college when you go from high school to college. And we never afforded them that option, those opportunities that now are in front of them. So I couldn't be happier because this new landscape is great. And I couldn't be more angry at the news reports and then these coaches talking about these players need to stand by their commitments. When all through my entire life, I listened to coaches tell me how they were committed, but this is opportunity for, what was your line? My family, my family, I couldn't pass this up while they left all these kids behind to some other program, some other coach, some other vision. That's the difference if you go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, changes your whole livelihood. If you're a defensive tackle, I mean, if you're going for a cover 2, cover man, people don't even realize this.
Look at you.
You got recorded to do, you got recruited to do one thing, and a new coach comes in and you're no longer valued and you can't go anywhere. Well, now they can, and good for them and good for coaches. Everyone should be mixing it up, going where they want to go. And I couldn't be happier to watch it. And I'm telling you right now, this college season right now, this one I'm watching, fantastic. It's been fantastic. I don't know anybody who's watching college football is like, man, it was better when the players didn't get paid. I don't hear that from anybody. So
yeah,
that's my rant. I couldn't feel more passionate about the players. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing for the players and for the players' interest and looking out for them, because God knows we need it. So Mason, you're doing God's work.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm your host, Brendan. There's our passionate plea. Glad you like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, Campus to Contracts, where players get the most from the opportunities that God blessed them with. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys have a great evening.